Most of us live in a state of what Carl Jung would describe as waking sleep. We're physically awake but mentally and emotionally asleep. Our thoughts and actions are often guided by unconscious patterns that we've developed over the years, without much real awareness or self-reflection. In a sense, we're sleepwalking through life, stuck in routines that don't serve our higher selves or true potential. As Jungian psychology suggests, this waking sleep is a form of self-deception, where we live in accordance with a false personality, governed by societal expectations, fears, and an unresolved shadow. When we begin to observe our daily habits and thoughts through the lens of self-observation and self-awareness, we start to notice how our unconscious mind takes the driver's seat. We act based on automatic responses rather than conscious choices, which can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction or emptiness. Understanding this dynamic is the first step in awakening from this state of mindless living. By practicing self-reflection, we can begin to discern the differences between who we truly are and who we've been conditioned to be. This is where the power of witnessing comes in, seeing ourselves without judgment, simply observing our thoughts and actions as they arise. The good news is, waking up from this sleep is possible. Jung's teachings encourage us to actively engage in practices like shadow work and self-inquiry. As we dig deeper into the unconscious layers of our psyche, we can begin to unravel the false identities we've constructed over time. This process leads to personal transformation, an opportunity to step into a more authentic life. The real work lies in the willingness to challenge the false personality that limits us and embrace the discomfort of transformation. Once we recognize the illusion of the me, we free ourselves to start living with purpose and clarity. Gurdjieff's teachings and the path to awakening. Gurdjieff's teachings are deeply rooted in the idea that most of us live in a state of mechanical existence. According to him, the majority of humanity is trapped in an unconscious cycle of habits and conditioning, unable to experience life as it truly is. This waking sleep, as Gurdjieff described it, prevents us from accessing our higher consciousness or true self. His approach to breaking free from this cycle centers around self-remembering, the practice of becoming aware of oneself in every moment. This requires us to step outside of the habitual mental chatter and truly observe the inner dialogue that dominates our lives. One of Gurdjieff's key concepts is the fourth way, a path of awakening that combines physical, emotional, and intellectual work to break through the psychological shields and buffers that keep us trapped in the illusion of the false self. Unlike traditional religious practices, the fourth way emphasizes that we don't need to withdraw from the world to awaken. Rather, we must engage with the world more consciously. This is where the integration of mind, body, and emotions comes into play. By using all of these aspects in a harmonious way, we begin to break free from the automatic patterns that define our existence. The ultimate goal of Gurdjieff's teachings is personal transformation, to evolve into a fully conscious being. His teachings invite us to move beyond the cognitive dissonance of our self-limiting beliefs and into a space of freedom. This path is not easy and requires discipline, patience, and consistent effort. But through self-reflection, inner alchemy, and conscious engagement with life, we can begin the journey of awakening. By challenging the false personality and embracing the inner work, we start to shift our perception of reality and begin to embody the deeper resonance of the true self. The role of the false personality and personal evolution. The concept of the false personality plays a significant role in the work of Gurdjieff and is key to understanding how we operate in the world. According to Gurdjieff, the false personality is the mask we wear, the constructed identity that we show to the world, but which is disconnected from our true essence. This false self is a product of societal conditioning, expectations, and fears that we accumulate throughout life. Over time, we identify so deeply with this mask that we forget who we truly are underneath it. Self-awareness becomes clouded by the mental layers of this false personality, preventing us from connecting with our authentic nature. However, the path to personal evolution lies in recognizing and disidentifying from the false personality. Self-reflection and inner observation are the first steps toward discovering the true self beneath the surface. This process requires courage and vulnerability, as it means confronting aspects of our ego and shadow that we have long avoided. By engaging in shadow work, bringing to light the aspects of ourselves that we have repressed, we can start to transform the parts of our personality that are merely products of external influence. The more we separate our true self from this false identity, the more we can embody authenticity. The work of self-transformation is not instantaneous. It requires consistent effort and the ability to stay present in the moment. The more we practice witnessing our thoughts and non-identification with the ego, the closer we get to a state of pure awareness. The journey involves integration, where we combine the fragmented pieces of our personality into a whole, embracing both the light and the shadow. True evolution comes from a place of conscious awakening, where we can shed the false self and live more authentically, in alignment with our higher consciousness. The power of archetypes and choosing your true self. Archetypes, those universal patterns of the human experience, have a profound impact on how we relate to ourselves and the world. Carl Jung emphasized that archetypes represent the collective unconscious, the shared memories, symbols, and patterns of behavior passed down through generations. These powerful symbols shape our worldview and influence the way we see ourselves. By recognizing the archetypes present within us, we can begin to better understand the inner dynamics of our personalities and start to recognize how we're unconsciously drawn to certain roles, such as the hero, the victim, or the martyr. When we become aware of the archetypes operating in our lives, we gain the ability to consciously choose which roles we want to embody. We stop living on autopilot and instead make empowered choices that align with our true self rather than the false self we've been conditioned to portray. Jung believed that self-awareness is the key to unlocking the power of archetypes. It allows us to choose which archetypal energy we want to activate in any given moment. Do we want to step into the warrior archetype, driven by purpose and courage, or the caregiver, embodying compassion and nurturance? Choosing the true self means letting go of limiting beliefs and expectations we have about ourselves, which are often influenced by society. This requires us to embark on a journey of self-discovery, where we challenge the mental constructs that have kept us locked in familiar but unfulfilling patterns. By embracing the archetypes that resonate with our authenticity, we can step into a more empowered, free, and meaningful life. As we explore these inner symbols and energies, we open ourselves to deeper personal growth and transformation. The fourth way, living awake in a sleeping world. The fourth way is a unique path to self-awareness and personal growth, developed by Gurdjieff. It integrates aspects of spiritual practices into everyday life, enabling us to live with conscious presence and engage deeply with our inner world while simultaneously interacting with the outer world. Unlike other paths that focus exclusively on physical, emotional, or intellectual development, the fourth way emphasizes the integration of all three centers of intelligence: body, emotions, and mind. This holistic approach helps us transcend the limitations of the false personality and align with our true self. Living awake in a sleeping world, as Gurdjieff proposed, means constantly observing ourselves in every situation, being mindful of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Self-observation allows us to uncover the shadows and unconscious patterns that govern our behavior. This process of inner work helps us integrate the opposites within ourselves, gradually diminishing the internal conflict that arises from cognitive dissonance. As we begin to make the unconscious conscious, we discover deeper layers of our true nature and can shift from reactive living to empowered action. By practicing the fourth way, we transform our relationships, work, and daily life into opportunities for self-discovery and spiritual awakening. The essence of this path is to become fully present in every moment, no matter how mundane, recognizing the potential for growth in each experience. As we learn to live with greater awareness, We transcend the habitual mental chatter that distracts us from our true purpose, unlocking our limitless potential. This journey isn't about escaping the world, but about being fully immersed in it with a clear, focused mind and an open, compassionate heart.